1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says the nation benefits when state institutions are allowed to function independently without political interference. Communications Minister says the government has planned to build over 6,000 km-long network of motorways and highways across Pakistan. Minister for Human Rights has urged the international community, human rights organizations and the global media to act in preventing India from judicial murder of Kashmiri leader Asya Andarabi, currently detained in New Delhi's Tihar jail. Kashmiris on both sides of the line of control and the world over will observe the Right to Self-Determination Day tomorrow with a renewed pledge to continue their liberation struggle till it reaches its ultimate goal. Iran says it has resumed 20% uranium enrichment at its underground Fordow nuclear facility. A court in London has ruled that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange cannot be extradited to the United States. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says total recoveries by NAB in 2019 and 2020 amount to 389 billion rupees in comparison to previous 10 years, that is 2008 to 2018 recoveries of 104 billion rupees. In a tweet today, he said Anti-Corruption Department in Punjab recovered 206 billion rupees in 27 months in comparison to only 3 billion rupees in the past 10 years under corrupt rulers. The Prime Minister said these facts reveal how the nation benefits when state institutions are allowed to function independently without political interference. Defence Minister Parvez Khattar called on Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today. Regional security situation, India's ceasefire violations on the line of control and its negative effects on the region were discussed in the meeting. Communications Minister Murad Saeed has said that the PTI government has planned to build 6,147 km-long network of motorways and highways across Pakistan. Addressing a ceremony in Islamabad this afternoon, he said 1,600 km-long projects have been executed in the last 2 years, besides initiating work on the western route of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. He said 60% work on Khuzdar-Basima Road has been completed, while Hoshab, Avaran and Ratto-Dero-Shikar roads have been inaugurated, whereas Darra Adamkhel project is nearing completion. Murad Saeed said groundbreaking of Quetta bypass and Dera Murad Jamali bypass will be performed this month. The federal government has decided to reopen educational institutions closed due to COVID-19 in 3 phases from the 18th of this month. This was announced by Minister of Federal Education and Professional Training Shafqat Mahmood after Interprovincial Education Ministers' Conference in Islamabad today. He said the board examinations scheduled for March and April are being postponed to May and June this year. The Minister for Defence Production, Zubaida Jalal, has highlighted Pakistan's desire and commitment to work closely with the United Arab Emirates in the defence industrial domain. Talking to UAE's ambassador Hamad Obaid Ibrahim Solim Al-Zabi, who called on her in Rawalpindi today, she emphasized that there are areas of mutual interest and benefits to be explored by both the countries. The UAE ambassador expressed his country's resolve for working with Pakistan together in all spheres of civil and defense fields of collaboration. The dignitary also extended invitation for the Honorable Minister to attend the IDEX 2021 being held next month. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says India has buried the concept of secularism owing to its Hindutva policy. In a statement today, he said international media is openly criticizing India for its discrimination against minorities and over the issue of farmers' protest. The Foreign Minister says Pakistan has exposed India before the world through a dossier containing evidence of Indian terrorism in Pakistan. Pakistan's permanent representative to the United Nations, Munir Akram, says India's proposals on UN Security Council reforms are undemocratic and self-serving. Talking to APP after New Delhi's assumption of a non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council, he said India's proposals are aimed to secure permanent membership of the Council and other advantages for itself. Minister for Human Rights Dr. Shiri Mazari has urged the international community, human rights organizations and the global media to act in preventing India from judicial murder of Kashmiri leader Asia Andrabi, currently detained in New Delhi's Tihar jail. Talking to media in Islamabad this evening, she said Indian courts are preparing for a judicial murder of Kashmiri leader Dr. Asia Andrabi by awarding life imprisonment sentence to her. Dr. Shiri Mazari said Asia Andrabi's husband has also been under detention for the last 28 years. She said Kashmiri leaders are facing Indian torture and oppression in jails in sheer violation of Article 148 of the 4th Geneva Convention on Human Rights. Shaking the global conscience, the federal minister called upon the international community, especially the human rights organizations, to immediately intervene in Asia Andrabi's matter to protect her life and rights of the Kashmiri people. Kashmiris on both sides of the line of control and the world over will observe the Right to Self-Determination Day tomorrow with a renewed pledge to continue their liberation struggle till it reaches its ultimate goal. It was on 5th of January 1949 when the UN Security Council passed a resolution supporting the Kashmiris' right to decide their future by themselves through UN-sponsored plebiscite. Meanwhile, Hurriyat leaders and organizations have called upon the United Nations and international community to fulfill their pledge by granting Kashmiris their basic right of self-determination. Hurriyat leader Ghulam Ahmad Gulzar, in a letter to the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, said that people of Jammu and Kashmir seek legitimate intervention to stop brutal initiation of ethnic cleansing in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He said that over 1 million Indian troops, shielded by all types of draconian laws, are present in the territory with a license to kill and silence popular voice of the people for their inalienable right to self-determination. In India, 4 more farmers died over the past 24 hours, raising the toll to 60 during the farmers' protest against anti-farmers laws passed by Modi government. The farmers' leaders, Gurnam Singh Choranani, Rakesh Tikait and others, said that they will not go back until 3 farm laws and a law for MSP are repealed. The U.S. Congress has passed a bill named after Nobel laureate Malala Yousafzai that expands the number of scholarships to women in Pakistan under merit and needs-based program. According to information posted on the congressional website, the Malala Yousafzai Scholarship Act was passed by the House of Representatives in March last year, and the U.S. Senate adopted it by a voice vote on Friday last. Iran says it has resumed 20% uranium enrichment at its underground Fordow nuclear facility. The government spokesman Ali Rabi said in a statement that the process of producing 20% enriched uranium has started in Fordow enrichment complex. A court has ruled that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange cannot be extradited to the United States. The judge blocked the request because of concerns over Mr. Assange's mental health and risk of suicide in the U.S. The 49-year-old is wanted over the publication of thousands of classified documents in 2010 and 2011. And now cricket. On the second day of second and final cricket test match at Christchurch against Pakistan, New Zealand in their first innings were 286 for 3 at stumps today. Earlier, Pakistan in their first innings were all out at 297. And finally, the weather report. Rain with thunderstorm and snowfall over the hills is expected in Islamabad, Upper and Central Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Kashmir. Isolated heavy falls are also expected in northeast Punjab, Pothohar region and Kashmir during the next 12 hours. Cold and dry weather is expected elsewhere in the country. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.